Confidence is a lifestyle change. The way you think, the way you operate, the way you move, the people you hang around, it's a lifestyle change. Welcome, Soft Life Sisters. I am so happy you're here today. So grateful that you're here to enjoy this experience with me as well. Today, we're going to be talking about confidence. And it is a touchy subject, not only for you, but for me, because I have had to endure so many things to get here. But I'm excited for us to go through this journey together and talk about some of the easy steps and create sort of like a guide that you can follow to build confidence every day. Before we get started, I do want to take a moment to kind of relax. I meditate once a day, not because, it's the right thing to do or anything like that, but because our day gets so boggled down with so much stuff. If you're a mother, you have to worry about the kids. If you're in corporate, you have to worry about the things with your job, your boss. Like if you're an entrepreneur, you have to worry about where your next sale is coming from and who is your next customer and what's the next thing you need to do. It's so many things that boggle us down during the day. And so when you take a second to meditate, you're actually giving yourself a space to relax and make one little moment about you. So let's do something really quickly if you don't mind. I would love for us to take 3 deep breaths, just 3, so that we can focus on ourselves and kind of center ourselves for the practice, the guide, the journey we're going to be on today. Okay? Let's start. Close your eyes and taking your first deep breath. Inhale peace. Hold it. 1, 2, 3. Release. Exhale pressure. Inhale ease. 1, 2, 3. Exhale expectation. Inhale confidence. 1, 2, 3. Exhale doubt. See, just a few seconds helps to clear your mind. And I like to count when I do it because it really helps me focus on what I'm doing in that moment. So I'm not distracted by the thoughts that constantly, boggle our mind. Thank you so much for doing that practice with me and helping to set an intention. What we want to do at the beginning of our Soft Life Sister podcast and each episode is really begin to set an intention. My intention for today is peace is my friend. Peace is my friend. Because there was a point in my life where I would get nervous when it was too peaceful. I don't know if any of y'all have ever dealt with that, but if things were going too good, baby, something was about to go wrong. And I would start anticipating and expecting something bad to happen until it finally did, so that my nervous system will be able to calm down and say, see, girl, I told you something was going to go wrong. And I didn't realize that that was something I was actually putting into the atmosphere. I don't know what y'all do. I don't know if y'all have those type of things and those type of thoughts, but that was a really big thing for me. So anytime I start feeling any type of anxiety, overwhelmed about anything, I will begin to tell myself, peace is my friend. Now, that might not be your struggle today, and you may have other things that you're dealing with. Whatever that is, tell yourself that in the morning, write it down, keep it close, so you can go throughout the day telling yourself the thing you need to hear to keep you in the right headspace. Now, let's get into this podcast today. We're going to be talking about confidence. And before we get started, I just wanted to get a little comfy. I have on my favorite robe. This robe is actually from Victoria's Secret. And I am drinking my favorite tea. Now, I am blessed to the point where I don't have to work a 9 to 5 because my business is doing well. And I am now very used to, like I said, waking up in the morning, meditating, and I create a peaceful environment for myself because I work from home now. So one thing I used to do when I was working a 9 to 5 and I had to drive into work every day was I would buy these teas. And this isn't sponsored. I'm not that big to have sponsored content yet, but this is one of my favorite teas because on each of the little tag, there's an affirmation. And so on the mornings that I'm rushing, and back then I did not have time for myself. I didn't know how to make time for myself, but I did take those little moments by just making a cup of tea, running out the door with it because I couldn't even drink it at home. And in the car, at a red light, I would actually read the affirmation. So I have my tea here. This is one of my favorite little glasses. Something else I like to do. When you're romanticizing your life, baby, get some cute stuff. This is all vintage. I'm very big on that. I like to have pretty things, but I'll go to like a antique store or somewhere and get those pieces that I like so that I can romanticize my life a little bit more. However, we're talking about these teas. So this is what the tag looks like on the front. And then there's a little saying on the back. You probably can't see that. But it says, laughter is the same in all languages. And I love that because going with peace is my friend. The saying is, laugh to keep from crying. But sometimes you just have to laugh because there ain't nothing wrong with you. There is nothing happening in your life right now. There's no reason for you to be wilding out. But our bodies sometimes just pick up on the same energy and we don't know how to let go. So girl, I had to laugh at myself. Like, Zintrise, life is good. Life is good. Stop it. Relax. And that's where we at. So that one actually helped me. And I'm just saying, try these teas. They come in a lot of different ones. The one I have today is stress relief. I like it because it says it eases tension and promotes relaxation, which is what we're all about today. So this is a great one to have. Now, moving along with the podcast, I do want to kind of give you some information to talk about confidence and also use that as an idea that we formed from my book, The Foundations of a Soft Life. And for this book, listen, my last time I flew, I did first class. I'm keeping the same energy. In my book, as my book holder, I use it to keep that same energy. So moving forward, we're first class only, baby. That's the life we live in. That's the energy we're giving. That's where we at. So what I want to read to you today is about the provider and the creator. And this book is available on Amazon, on my website. But I'll just read an excerpt of it today, which kind of ties into what we're talking about with confidence. And it says, we operate in two roles in life, the provider and the creator. The provider, operating in survival mode, focusing on ensuring your basic needs, food, shelter, security, water, are met, often driven by fear, urgency, or the need to make ends meet. The other side is the creator, operating in divine purpose and flow, led by your gifts, talents, and natural abilities, rooted in faith, creativity, and trust in something greater than you. So The reason why we're going to talk about the provider and the creator is because before we even try to talk about, or before we even try to address confidence, you have to address what your mind is. Like, where are you operating from? If you're in survival mode, no, you do not have time to focus on anything else besides your basic needs. What needs to be done today, how you're going to take care of things tomorrow, and what's to come. But when you start operating in creator, things change. You begin to look at long term, like you begin to set goals. You begin to understand that everything that's happening around you is either here to help you or to distract you, and you make changes accordingly. So I say that I know a lot of people, they struggle with the idea of trying to figure out where and when and how do these things, make sense in my life. And for me, it made sense because I went through a lot of trauma in my 20s and 30s. I'm telling my age, y'all. A lot of trauma in my 20s and my 30s that really affected my confidence. I was a child that was always creative, but I was an introvert. So it wasn't a lot of times that I did not feel things going on in my body or understand where I was as a person, because I was constantly creating. I was constantly living in my imagination. I was sewing for my friends and family. I was dancing. I started a nonprofit in my early 20s to help in the community. Like, I was constantly creating things. And when I went through my divorce, it was an extremely hard time for me. My ex-husband was upset. We had created a great brand as far as what we were creating, what we were doing in the community. But things in my life weren't right. They didn't set right with me. People weren't treating me correctly. And I walked away. Now, when I walked away, I thought walking away was the biggest thing. I thought, okay, you taking a step to walk away is going to be the biggest challenge of your life. And things are going to be so different. And you're not going to have your husband to rely on and all of these different things. But baby, that was not it. I'm laughing, but that was not it. My life went sideways when I got a divorce. And not because I didn't have the things that I needed. What I recognized in that time was my relationship was stifling, was really destroying my inner being. I had gotten to a point where I didn't know who I was. But when I began to live on my own, when I began to figure out the things I liked and go to places that I wanted to go and get the type of job that I wanted to have, because my ex-husband didn't want me to work during that time, my life changed drastically, quickly. In a matter of 6 months, I was a whole nother person. And when I say a whole nother person, I was me again. I got married at 18. So that 18 to 28 was a time where I was completely devoted to my family, to his family, to the church, to the things we were doing. But baby, 28 to 35, I was devoted to me. And during that time, him, his family, people in general just were not comfortable with me being this version of myself. And I realized looking back that they saw that version of me the whole time. Every time they tried to disrespect me, every time they told me what I couldn't do, they saw that version of me. I just couldn't see it for myself. So once we got a divorce, baby, he tried to take my kids from me when I got sick. Well, let me correct that. I got sick. We'll have a whole nother discussion on ovarian cancer and the things that I had to do to bring myself back to health so that I did not pass away. They gave me 6 months to live. I got sick. My ex-husband took my kids. He took me back and forth to court. He made me pay $10,000 every 2 years in back child support because he couldn't determine how much money I was making. He brought in pictures of my house, of my car. He made it seem like I had so much money coming in, which I did, baby. I had a lot of money coming in. I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of money coming in. But I was taking care of my kids, and I never signed for them to be with him. I let them go down while I was going through my treatments. I didn't want them to see everything was going on. We made an agreement that once I was well, that the kids will come back. And then once I got better, I guess he thought I was going to pass away, because most people did pass away from cancer. Like, that's not something, coming back from that type of diagnosis wasn't normal. I understand that. But instead of celebrating that for me, that was used against me. So for 10 years, I had to fight for custody of my kids, and that destroyed my confidence, my self-esteem. It gave me a lot of self-doubt. It made me feel like the things that were important to me should not have been important at all, and that I was just a shell that was here to take care of and help other people. And that was hard. So from the time that I got sick, which was around the age of 29, until now, I have been on this journey, a constant journey, to continue to build myself in a certain way to be the person that I am. And I'm proud of that. I am so proud of that. And that's what I want to share with you. So we're going to go and talk about a little bit of confidence. I know, story time, baby. We did that. But we're going to talk about confidence. And you're going to have a guide. There's a guide that's going to be in the description below. And if you're on YouTube, if you're listening to the podcast on any of the audio platforms, you can definitely go to YouTube and download this guide. And I want you to be able to identify where we're coming from, where we need to be, and who we're trying to become, or who we're trying to restore. Because you're not becoming something new. You're just becoming the person you always were. What we're trying to restore back in our lives. So let's talk about confidence begins with calm. So for a long time, when I was going through all these things, I thought confidence was loud. Like, you had to be screaming from the rooftops, I'm confident. Like, you had to walk in a room, you had to tell people you to be, and I'm an introvert. So I allow my confidence to show through my clothing. I've been like that for a very long time, through my work. I was pretty smart, so I made pretty good grades, and I allowed my confidence, people to say, oh, proud of you, this and that, because of that. And then as I got older and I began to understand my style and created a love for fashion, I allowed my style and my fashion to open up doors for people to talk to me, because I really wasn't the type of person. I was very quiet. I was very shy. So I wasn't the type of person to just start up a conversation. So a lot of times someone will be like, oh, I like your shoes, or oh, I like your outfit. And that will spark a conversation so that we can begin to talk. So I didn't think I was confident. Because of that, confidence seemed like it was something that I wasn't going to have. But I learned through my journey that is not confidence. Being loud, being obnoxious, that's not being confident. Confident is knowing who you are on the inside. So when you begin to go through all of these different changes, like you have people in your life that's trying to tear you down. Okay, you have to kind of tell yourself, why are they doing this? What is so important about me? Not, why am I doing this as a victim? What is so important about me, baby, that they want to talk about me? What am I doing so great that it makes them feel some type of way? I begin to look at people, especially that try to tear me down or talk down to me or make me feel bad about myself. I've started to pity them, because I'm like, I don't have enough hours in the day to worry about myself, nevertheless worry about you. So why are you worried about me? There had to be something about me that made that person feel like I was a more important thing to think about than themselves. So that mindset alone, that switch in thinking helped me feel differently about what people were saying. I told you the whole story about the divorce and me walking away, but my ex actually lied on me. He said that I left him for another man. We were really big in the church, huge in the church. And during that time, I had to deactivate my Facebook page because he was telling people that I left him for another man. And we did youth ministry. I led women's conferences, and that was detrimental to my reputation that he was saying those type of things. Well, of course, I begin to question myself, like, what am I doing wrong? Why would someone want to say these type of things about me? Why would someone want to hurt me this way? And it had nothing to do with me. Mind you, during the same time, he got one of our members in the church pregnant. And he wanted me to come back home to reconcile with him so that he could continue to preach. And I would have to take care of and just be the helpful wife while we raised another woman's child together. And I told him no. I felt like if that was the thing he dealt with and he had already slandered my name, that's something you're going to have to deal with on your own. Now, did they try to demonize me for that too? Of course. Of course. The people just continue to make things about themselves instead of understanding or looking at the bigger picture. That's something we have to take and we have to understand. We have to digest and move forward from. But for you, recognize that when people are trying to tear you down, when people are trying to use you, when people are trying to make you feel small, that is so much more about them than it is about you, baby. That has nothing to do with you. That is about their perception of themselves. That is about the way they look at life. And that is about the way they feel about themselves. Just don't let them give that energy to you. It's not yours. Give it back. Let them have it and move forward. Now, calm creates clarity. Why are we talking about confidence and calm at the same time? Have you ever been in a situation where someone's screaming on you at the top of their lungs? Is there any type of clarity in the midst of that? No. And who's feeling, can someone confidently say that they're operating in their best self when they're screaming or they're being loud and obnoxious and they're treating people a certain type of way? No, you're being emotional. That person is being emotional. Emotional does not equal confidence. So when you're calm, you're able to relax, you're able to think about what you're saying, and you're able to come from a place of clarity in order to identify the things in your life that need to change. Well, you'll say, okay, it's not people. People aren't my issue. I don't have a problem with people harassing me or talking crazy to me or disrespecting me, none of that. My issue is myself. All right. Where did you get those ideas from? When did you start telling yourself that you wasn't good enough? Who instilled those ideals in you? Because I'm probably, you didn't tell yourself that. You didn't just wake up one day and say, oh my God, I'm a terrible person. Either you were watching things on social media, something on social media made you feel some type of way, you begin to compare yourself to other people, or you simply allowed subtle words or things from other people to seep into your subconscious and tell you that this is the person you are. Well, I'm here to tell you you're not. You're amazing. You're loving. You're kind. You have endured so many things in this current state of mind, and you can enjoy so many more as the confident woman you're supposed to be. When the last time you heard that? Love, I just want to give you like some of these prompts and guides to help you, because what I'm saying, I don't even have the time in this one episode to go over all of the things about confidence and how to tear down a messed up mindset, and how to open yourself up to new thinking patterns so that you can live a confidence life, because it's not just one or two things, it is a lifestyle change. Confidence is a lifestyle change. The way you think, the way you operate, the way you move, the people you hang around, it's a lifestyle change. But I do want to give you these prompts, these guides that you can go over. And if you have downloaded the guide, then you already see these. If you haven't, you can kind of think about it and marinate on these questions throughout the week to help yourself build more confidence. The first question is, where have I confused performance with confidence? Now remember, confidence is the way you view yourself, it's the way you treat yourself, the way you carry yourself. Where have I confused performance and confidence? Number 2, what areas of my life feel peaceful? And how does that peace connect to my self-worth? You have to ask yourself these questions. What areas do you already have? And some of you say, oh, my life is a mess. Or there's something. There may be something you do once a day, whether it's brush your teeth or just get up in the morning and when you're taking your shower, something in your life that already feels confident, it already feels peaceful. Figure that out. Start there and begin to build. And the third one is, what would confidence look like for me if I didn't feel the need to prove anything? That one definitely goes back to dealing with other people and things on the outside. And again, social media, just being around jealous people or hateful people, a lot of different things can make you feel or question your confidence level, or make you feel more insecure, or your body changing can actually affect that. But we're going to go into a little bit more in depth. I'm going to take a couple more episodes and focus on confidence in different areas to help you recognize where you can grow and become more confident in your life. So I do want to leave you with an affirmation, and that is going to be, my confidence is rooted in my peace, not my performance. Because this confidence is for you, baby. It's not for nobody else. We don't care. We don't care what no one else has to think or say. And yeah, a woman in her 40s, they say that's when you stop caring. But I had to stop caring in my 30s. I had to stop caring in my 20s, honestly. Because if not, I probably wouldn't be here today. So your confidence is built in your peace, not in your performance. Say that to yourself in the mirror this week when you're getting dressed or when doubt begins to creep in. And your softness is not a weakness, it's a superpower. And you're calm, that's where your real confidence lies. So when you're calm, when you can process the information that's being presented to you, when you can think about the decisions that you have to make, you can do them in confidence. Okay? I just want you, before I close this episode, like I said, download the free guide if you get a chance. And I'll have some mini posts on Instagram. I'll have some posts in the YouTube community page. Interact with me. Tell me what you did this week to help build your confidence. Tell me where you identified areas where you didn't feel confident at, or what you feel like you need to work on when it comes down to your confidence. Let's deep dive into this. And I want to be the person that can help you identify those areas so you can move forward to be the most confident self. All right. So with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in to the Soft Life Sister podcast. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I am happy to be your guide through this confidence journey. And I hope you have the most amazing day, the most amazing week, the most amazing month, the most amazing year. And confidence in peace and living your soft life. Be blessed.